Hey guys, I'm just doing a quick overview of the WE gas blowback rifle. This is over a period of years of using the WE M4 series, and some of the insight hopefully I can provide that will help you to use your gun, maintain it, and hopefully increase the performance if you're having any issues with it. Okay. So to do a quick overview, this right here is started as an M4A1 stock, but of course, as you see, I've added a few things in here and there. Suppressor, laser, foregrip, Daniel Defense wrist 2, Mo. I got a lot of Magpul furniture here, front and rear sights, grip, buttstock, trigger guard, okay, and then EOTech EXPS. On the externals, the things that I did to help the performance of this gun, not too much. I added like an ASAP plate right here, which will allow me to switch shoulders quickly without really having to this issue with bunching up on my sling. On the externally, what you can do to help your performance of your gun is that I found, for me, that normally this position for me is at the first position on a 3-point stock, that this would be perfect for me in terms of how I would shoot normally. But of course, when you wear a kit on, whether you have straps, chest rigs, plate carry, etc., it'll increase the distance that the gun is from your body, and I didn't like that. So what I did was I added another point right here. I drilled it, and then now when I'm wearing a chest rig or some kind of a plate carrier, it'll be able to accommodate that. Okay, so that's something I did add that. Okay, so but mostly I want to get into the performance, like I said, of the gun and the things that you can do, the benefits of the open bolt, and the things that I've learned through a couple of years of using this, and the open bolt and the closed bolt, of course. So anyway, the open bolt. Let's just go through the closed bolt. All right, let's do this real quick. All right, so this is the old closed bolt, as WE calls their AWSS system. It was taken from the AFC Escort gas blowback rifles. This is the closed bolt nozzle, loading nozzle, and the steel bolt carrier, which is nice. I like this. I wish the new one was like that. This is the old feeding lip that goes in the magazines. This is the new one that's on there. It's a bit higher. And this is the old bolt release. Right. So there are reasons why, while being extremely gas efficient in terms of that, and also, you know, some people disagree. I tend to think that, you know, when you see the brass tube inside your gun, it looks like you're loading another round. Some people didn't like it because it made it look fake, you know, in terms of, you know, like when you have an open bolt gun. If those of you familiar with the Western Arm types of M4 series guns, where you open there and you see empty, right? So that some people favor that in terms of realism. For me, I've never really had a preference between either one. For me, it was mostly about the performance. There were two issues about the closed bolt that really drove me kind of crazy, and why I decided to switch over to the open bolt. The first one, as you can see, this is how it goes. When the bolt goes inside the receiver and you have your chamber right here, it'll go in close, and then you see right here, and that's right inside this chamber is where your magazine would go in. This part like this in there, and the BB would load in there. Okay. Now, what would happen is that sometimes your BB would not load correctly, and then this nozzle would engage a BB from the magazine, and then the BB would get lodged right here. Most of the time, well, not all the time, but sometimes your BBs would hit this edge and then have an indentation, and which would load into the barrel and fire. And what would happen is that you would have a BB that is not spherical anymore, and it's irregular. Now it's because now you have a spinning ball that's irregular, and now it's not going to fly straight anymore. That would be one problem. The second problem would be, and I'll show you as this is the hop-up of the closed bolt. And you can see inside right here, there's a small nub. That is what makes contact with the BB. Unfortunately, it's just so small. It does not produce consistently enough spin on the BB. It just doesn't do a very good job. As opposed to, if you ever seen a hop up, the traditional type of hop up in an AEG or a pistol type, the hop up in those are very much it's like almost like a mound. It's big. It's a lot larger. It makes more contact with the BB and more consistently. Okay. One problem. That's problem two. That's just in the chamber itself. Now the next problem is that the lockback feature, right? Which unfortunately I could only get to the first week. It worked fine, and after that I was never able to get my my bolt to lock back reliably. So what would happen is that this is your bolt, and it would slide back. Your bolt would engage on this small part right here, right? And as much as I try to flatten this out and put shims in it to make it steady, I just could never get to engage without me manually doing it with my thumb to cause it to lock, right? So after trying that a long period of time, I said, you know what, I'm going to switch over to the open bolt, okay? Now the open bolt isn't without its problems, but it does remedy those, but there's other things as well that can be done to improve it, okay? Now this is the open bolt assembly that it sits in the gun right about here. What I have in the gun is the same length that this one. I know what my gun right now, it looks like a Mark 18 Block 2 short barrel, but I have it running this M4 length barrel, inner barrel on the inside, so it goes like this. So the suppressor covers most of it. Okay. So when you can things now, WE replaced the old barrel and hop up with this new one, which is a VSR type of hop up, right? It's almost like an AEG / pistol hop up, which is you use this nub this nut right here, and you a small Allen wrench, and you twist it, and it will produce greater hop up or lesser hop up. The nub that actually makes in contact with the BB is a lot larger than this guy right here, right? It's a lot bigger, and therefore you get more consistent spin. You get predictable BB flight. You have a sense of where it's going to go. Whereas this guy, I was never really sure all the time. Right? So if you have a weapon that you don't have confidence in, in getting the shot off, especially when you have a magazine that only has 30 rounds, and you kind of have a problem. Some improvements that you can do, even though this is a great improvement over the closed bolt, I did notice that this chamber here, the rubber chamber, the chamber right here, you can place some Teflon, take it apart, place some Teflon tape around the packing right here, the rubber packing, because it's kind of loose and it kind of wobbles around a little bit. So place that up to make it nice and tight. That should help some of your gas efficiency and some of your BB trajectory, okay?